Hi guys, and welcome back to E4S. Today's video we're going to be sharing some CV tips with you guys to help you get that next job. We thought what better time to share some CV tips than when the world is opening back up again and we can finally go and apply for those jobs. Be sure to comment down below any ideas of videos that you'd like to see from us and anything that we can help you with relating to jobs. Also, check out our website. We have a website called E4S. It is at www.e4s.co.uk. Here you'll find a range of information on tips to help you get that job. Also, many jobs that you can choose from, whether that's part-time roles, holiday jobs, graduate opportunities, internships, apprenticeships, and even gap years. There's something for everyone on E4S. It's also linked in the bio. We have also recently started our own TikTok, so go and follow us on there. Right, let's sit down and begin. Employers only look at your CV for around 6 seconds, so it's super important that you grab their attention in those 6 seconds. We've got some tips to help you pass those 6 seconds. Let's get in. Only use a maximum of 1 to 2 pages. No one wants to hear your life story. They're only interested in the crucial parts of you. Focus on the important parts, so your experiences, references, anything that you have done to show that you are a committed individual who is ready to work. Number 2, tailor your CV to the job you are applying for. We're all guilty of it. We create a CV and we just hand it into loads and loads of places, and it's very vague. So make sure that when you're applying for a job, sort of tweak it a little bit, change bits to suit that job, because then you look more interested in that particular role and you will stand above other candidates. You can do this by making your description match the role. Number 3, don't add photos. Didn't mean to sound so harsh there, but they aren't necessary. Don't include photos in your CV because this will allow the employers to make an impression on you just from your photo. Imagine that your CV is your Tinder profile. Little bit weird, but it's a good way to look at it, because if you think about it, Tinder is a platform that you look at someone based on their appearance and judge them from it. You don't want that. You don't want an employer to do this when you're applying for a job. You want them to read about you, see how you are as an individual, and then base their impression on that, not on your appearance. Number 4, make your CV look nice. Use paragraphs and bullet points to split up your key areas, just to make it look a little bit more appealing to the eye and to split up each part of your CV. Employers will be more inclined to read your CV if it is laid out nicely. Here are some more tips to consider when writing out your CV. Always check for spelling. This is the biggest mistake made by candidates. If you don't check your spelling, you look silly. Simple as that. This is something that could get you off to a bad start. Employers don't want to see any spelling errors, so make sure you check those before you complete your CV. Also, get someone else to read it. A family member, anyone, a friend. Just get them to read it and see what they think, and 9 times out of 10 you miss your own spelling errors, so it is important to do this. Include past experiences. A lot of people forget to add this in. Include any jobs that you've previously worked at or any experience you have. This will show that you have the experience and are committed to working. This will also help to demonstrate what a good employer you are. Make sure you update your CV regularly. This is super important because you might have had more experience than you actually wrote before. Keep your CV up to date. That way, you have all the information there to show to your future employer. Those are some of the basic CV tips that we're going to give to you guys. Try to avoid words such as hardworking. When an employer is looking at your CV, they don't need you to tell them that you're hardworking. They want to see that you're hardworking. Show them through your work experience or past experience that you have done. Get CV references from other employers. Make them showcase you in a good light. That will get you the job. Don't tell them that you're hardworking, prove it to them. No one likes a show off. Writing a CV can be extremely time consuming and quite boring if you ask me. But What we're going to do right now is we're going to go through a few things that you should include in a CV and things that are super important to a future employer. We're going to start off from the top and work our way down. So, first thing you want to focus on is your name and your address, your phone number and your email address. Say for whatever reason you're not actually at home at the moment and you're applying for a job in the area that you are currently in, you should include that address, because if you put your home address as your main address, employers will see that as that you're not available and you're not nearby. So they will instantly, and you will not get the job. And we don't want that, do we? So that is tip number 1. Tip number 2 is for your email address. Make sure your email address is sensible. Don't be having an email that's like bumblebee101@gmail.com, I don't know. But make it sensible. Employers don't want to see silly emails. They will instantly take that as you are not sensible, you're not serious about the role, and they again will get rid of your CV. Next section is your profile. Now to me, this is the most important section of your CV. This is where you're going to grab the employer's attention, so it needs to be gripping. This is where you will showcase your key skills and achievements. As I mentioned earlier, one of the tips was to tailor your CV to each job that you are applying for. This is the section that you will be changing, your profile. So say you're applying to be a hairdresser or applying to be a mechanic. Those two jobs are very, very different and they require different skills. So make sure that you change this section for each job you're applying for. Next is the education section or work history section, depending on what stage of your life you're in. So for example, if you're still studying in school or college or university, you would want to put the education part above that, because currently that is the most important thing to you and that is what you're doing. However, if you have been working for a couple of years, you should probably put this above education, because this is more important to you currently. We'll start with the education section. So what you want to do is you want to include the date that you finished your education, the institution that you're at, and the course or grades that you have achieved at that level. With your most recent, and work back, because you want to show the thing that is most current to you. Also include other qualifications. This doesn't just mean grades. This could also mean food hygiene or Duke of Edinburgh even, DBS checks, sporting coach qualifications, first aid, anything that is going to set you above other candidates for that particular role. Say you're applying to work with children, DBS check would be super important, and if you already have that, you are put above the other candidates. As I mentioned earlier, you also have work history section. Now this is quite similar to the education section. You have the date that you worked up until, the institution that you worked for, and the company. And then after that, list key achievements and skills that you have learned through that job. Employers love when a candidate explains how they've handled a situation. So if you had a particular task that was challenging, if a good outcome came from that task, they're going to take that on board and they're going to be more inclined to hire you. Now we're going to move on to interests. Now you have to be careful with this section, because you don't want to just list all of your interests. For example, oh, I love sport, I love music, art. You get the gist. You don't want to do that. That's not interesting or engaging at all. It's pointless. So what you want to do, for example, if you were into sport, you could say, I enjoy team sports such as football, which helps build my leadership skills. That sounds a lot better than just saying, I like football. Do you get my point? Finally, we're on to references. References are super important because they give the employer the opportunity to find out a bit more about you from previous people that you've worked alongside with or been at school with. Typically, a lot of people don't include their references straight away. They will say things like, references are available on request, which is completely fine. You can totally do this, but make sure you have those references available to you, because when you get invited to the interview, you are going to need those references and hear from those people. So make sure you have them in your back pocket. don't forget about them. I think that concludes everything for the CV tips and advice. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe down below to see more videos like this, and be sure to go and check out our website at www.e4s.co.uk to see lots of jobs that you can apply for, you know, to put your CV into practice. We have more tips over there that you can check out, and now that things are opening up and becoming more readily available, this is a great time to have a look at our site. We have part-time jobs, we have gap year internships, apprenticeships, school leaver, graduate opportunities, we have it all. So go and check it out, see if anything takes your fancy, and maybe hand in your ready-made CV and hopefully get that job. But yeah, anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully we'll see you again in our next one. Bye guys!